Hey Voodoo, how does this movie have a 4-star rating? Hello everybody, and would you look at that? That Gamer Ajax has reached the milestone of 100 subscribers. And I guess that means it's time to fulfill my promise. But in all honesty, congrats to Ajax for reaching that massive milestone. If you are personally curious about other TTRPGs other than D&D, and potentially even smaller ones that you may not have heard of, go and check out his channel. He provides really good analysis and in-depth reviews as to what makes them tick and even how they work. So go ahead and check out his channel after you're watching this video, and give him a subscribe. So all that to say, today I am looking at Dragonlance, the Dragons of Autumn Twilight. For those unaware, this is a direct-to-DVD 2008 animated movie. It is based on the novel set in Dragonlance by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman, who not only created the beloved world of Krynn, but also were the lead devs on Castle Ravenloft. So yeah, to say they've earned their place in the game dev pantheon is certainly warranted. So naturally, with all that baggage, there is great love attached to these characters, which means when a cheap animated movie that's basically 100 minutes with credits means that it was pretty much doomed from the start. But with that out of the way, how is the movie? A complete and utter mess. And we're just gonna go now, despite the fact that we're very effective. Fade to black! This movie is one of those rare ones, where it somehow feels like nearly every decision was the wrong one. The cast, while strong, featuring the talents of Lucy Lawless, Kiefer Sutherland, Phil LaMarr, and many others, oftentimes feels like they are phoning things in. Moments that should be emotionally resonant don't come across that way, and oftentimes feel contrived.
As the world falls underneath the shadow of Takesis, I find myself filled with doubt.
That being said, Kiefer Sutherland as the beloved Raishland actually did go the extra mile with his character, going so far as to analyze the character from the book and even caring about the pronunciation of these magic words that he was saying, despite how silly they may sound, which honestly adds a lot to the performance. It makes it feel like he's actually taking the role seriously rather than just coming in for another paycheck, which by no means is a bad thing. This is why actors get paid to take on performances, and sometimes there's just a role, well, you realize this is just a paycheck role. Even the villain, Verminard, played by David Sobolov, seems to be having a lot of fun with the role and chewing the scenery. Every time we see this establishing shot, seriously, it's used at least 3, maybe 4 different times, I actually got excited. Because I knew what I was going to see was going to be a good time, because Verminard is clearly evil and loves it.
I offered you a chance to work for the further glory.
I'm sorry, I just breathed in my cloth.
You will pay with your life.
Which unfortunately doesn't assist the characters. More often than not, they come across as tropey, generic, or archetypes and not actually characters. It's not assisted that the book it's based on is nearly 450 pages, and the movie is only 100 minutes with credits. As such, plot elements are shoved down your throat at a breakneck pace, leaving little time for the audience to truly digest what is going on.
No matter how powerful a wizard is, he's limited to the number of spells he can cast each day.
You know that if you read your player's handbook, Steven.
Granted, for those who may not be familiar with D&D and how things work, this can actually be helpful to note the distinctions between a cleric and a wizard, for instance. But even then, the information is coming at you so quickly, the plot manages to feel both breakneck and a slog.
I'm wresting arcane energies from the very fabric of the universe. It's completely different.
You would know that if you read your player's handbook, Steven!
We really don't have enough time to truly get to know these characters, their motivations, or their stories in full. The only one that really gets fleshed out in any degree are Riverwind, Goldmoon, and Tanis, in that they actually have their backstories fully explained, and feel like they go through some sort of growth, no matter how contrived. This is not even touching on the animation. No doubt it was impacted by the budget or lack thereof. However, the movie comes across as cheap and lazy. There are dozens of animations errors, still PNG images, odd shots, and also repeating background characters. Why do they all look like Zelda from Breath of the Wild?
Walk within the limits of solace after dark.
Then, of course, we have how women characters are treated. They are either the stereotypical healer role, the love interest, or treated horribly if they haven't been already introduced by their chest. You think I'm kidding?
City. Even if the staff reaches Zaxxeroth, Honest will make sure the
It is definitely a product of a fantasy novel from the 80s, and as a result, it is very hard to sit through at times. These elements honestly did result in my enjoyment of the movie of overall being lower. I was actually having a good time with it in the so bad it's good kind of way because it was managing to make that swing. However, I cannot deny these elements, from how women are treated to questionable backstory elements, did cause me to lower my overall experience with the film. Now, obviously comes the next question. Are there any redeeming qualities? Actually, yes. The world. The world features the gods of light who have abandoned Krynn 300 years ago. The world is in despair and basically apocalyptic. As such, healing magic isn't a thing and oftentimes viewed as heresy or witchcraft. When a genuine cleric does show up, it's actually a big deal, and even with the horrible pacing, it's the only element that feels worthy of note, because it felt like it was genuinely set up. However, that's the only thing it has going for it. The characters are stock and walking tropes, the animation is filled with errors, and the plot is simultaneously breakneck and a slog. As stated, the fact that this movie is a severely trimmed down version of a rather lengthy first book means it was pretty much doomed from the start. There's no room for characters to breathe, to have their stories or concepts fully explored. Which is the biggest shame of the movie, and at least makes me want to check out the novels, because the ideas present have merit. The idea of faith in a world where the gods are just starting to re-emerge is a genuinely fascinating one, which if you were to pinpoint overarching theme, it would definitely be faith, either in the gods, each other, or oneself, which for fantasy works absolutely fantastic. However, as said, the plot is constantly on fast forward, so we're never given really enough time to truly digest and really chew on these ideas. So it just makes me curious to see how the novel did it, if anything. So that's Dragonlance Dragons of Autumn Twilight. In short, great concepts are marred by overall pacing, leading to a laughably tropey and generic fantasy adventure that would really only interest the most die-hard of Dragonlance fans, or those looking for a bad movie to watch. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and once again, congrats to Ajax for reaching 100 subscribers. If you're not already, go head on over to his channel and give him a nice subscribe. Let him know Lyra DM sent you. So until next time, everyone, keep rolling those dice.